welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another edition of the LiuLi Cup 2024 Grand Finals Playoffs, day number 4. I'm of course your live VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all to day number 4 of the playoffs. We just wrapped up yesterday with eliminating two additional players, and now we've reached the upper echelons. We've reached the top 4 players remaining here in the tournament. We have 2 Zergs, 1 Terran, and 1 Protoss, and the question becomes, who will be the next to be knocked out of the tournament? We have our next best of. This is going to be the lower bracket semifinals, if you will. We have a PvZ before you. We have MaxPax versus Reynor. Here we go. The best of 5 is upon us. Vetoes are done, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the Italian Zerg player, the blue Zerg representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Danish Protoss player, the red Protoss, representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is a Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat as we settle into our PvZ. Again, as a reminder, the loser of this series will be eliminated from the tournament. The winner will advance on to the lower bracket finals, waiting for the loser of the upper bracket finals. We'll get there. We'll get there. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look back yourselves. We'll be going over the bracket after this series to catch up on all the matches, to catch up on where we are. For now, we're focusing on our game. And as we focus on our game, a big shout to Thorn in the chat. Thank you so much to Thorn969 for the resub, the Twitch Prime of 9 months. Oh my god, Pappy, it's been 9 months. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for all that you do and for supporting the channel here over in the CranKy Ducklings. We do appreciate it. We do appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the content, hope you enjoy the casting, hope you enjoy the StarCraft. Thank you so much. Whew. As we settle into our PvZ, and this is going to be, I believe, actually, I was going to say a rematch from Masters Coliseum. Actually, I don't recall if these two actually competed, because if I remember correctly, MaxPax, he took down Serral and he went up against Hero in Masters Coliseum. Hero took down Reynor, so if I'm not mistaken, I believe MaxPax and Reynor, they missed each other. They missed each other in Masters Coliseum, and they actually did not play whatsoever. Let me quickly double check that. And yeah, they missed each other entirely. So now we get to see what could have been. You know, what if Reynor had seeded a little bit differently? What if Reynor had defeated Hero, or if he had defeated Serral? What could have been? We're here to find out. We have that kind of missing link, that missing series from Masters Coliseum, as these two will face off here and now. Let's go. Let us go. Do love to see it. As we are going to be getting into our standard opener, it's just going to be a gate expanded to side. Of course, standard opener here out of MaxPax going into his own Stargate follow-up into Oracle, most likely. You know, standard openers is typically MaxPax's go-to. Meanwhile, Reynor back at home opening up with a more standard opener as well. Hatch gas pool into a third base. When it comes to Reynor's style in this matchup, I mean, we got to experience him against Hero last night. It was an intense back and forth, went all the way to the ace match. It was very clutch, very close. Great to see once again more ace matches. If you recall, Hero took down Reynor in an ace match in Masters Coliseum. Here in the LiuLi Cup, Reynor takes down Hero also in the ace match as well. So very closely matched of the two. This time Reynor did kind of persevere, did advance on instead. And Reynor had a very aggressive and very active style against Hero. We'll see how that compares to MaxPax though. We'll get into it as it does get in. One drone goes down. One drone already falling, and barely doesn't get the second worker. But so far, good pickups here by MaxPax as he does shade out and does shade away. What I was getting at though is that Hero, he's known for being an aggressive player himself. He's known for being active, known for being in your face, and we saw that come to full fruition between Hero and Reynor. This is why we love casting them, because they're both very similar players. They're both very aggressive. They're both very in each other's faces. But that was also the downfall of Hero. I do recommend the VODs. If you missed them, I do recommend those VODs. Hero, multiple times, he was being active, he was being aggressive, and he was struggling to defend against the run bys of Reynor. Reynor, he was so persistent and so adamant about Ling Flood after Ling Flood, Ling run by, Ling drops as well. He was just all over Hero. He was getting damage done, and eventually Hero did crumble or I should say his economy crumbled under the pressure of Reynor. Here, MaxPax, I was going to say, is more known for more defensive play and for more macro play. That is how MaxPax did overcome Serral in their series, if you recall. But here we kick things off with Glaive Adepts. Let's go. There's going to be a Glaive Adept built here out of MaxPax. And I'm a little bit concerned. Thankfully, safety Roach Horn. That's going to be a 4-minute 30 Roach Horn here out of Reynor. A little bit later, but a safety Roach Horn nonetheless. So Reynor, he will have the tools to defend. We'll see if he can set up some Sim City. I will say that the wall here is looking a little bit awkward as there are holes on both sides. I'm concerned that MaxPax may just overwhelm and deal critical damage. Again, we saw a hero tear Serral apart with Glaive Adepts. We saw it happen to Reynor as well. This is a style that can catch an opponent off guard. It's not something you want to rely upon too heavily in a series, but once or twice in a longer extended series, I mean, it works well. Does work well. For the time being, the Oracle is going to be zoned away. The Oracle did scout the Roach Warren. MaxPax is aware. And behind this is banking up those adepts. How many adepts do we have so far? 9. 9 adepts. We can since go up to 12. But now is looking to shade across the map. And Reynor, he's about to scout. He's about to confirm. Ooh, yet to do so. Oh! As he dips in, and there we go. Now he sees the Lings. Now he's fully aware Roach production has begun. Lings are on the way. And we need to wall up. We need to wall off. As Max actually races across the map. There's still, yeah, it's going to be a really awkward wall here as the Roach Warren was thrown down in the center of that gap. So 3 Eva Chambers get thrown down. So far, the wall is solid. Oh no! I spoke too soon, as again, there were just multiple holes in this wall. The tumor allows for the adepts to get in. The SimCity is less than ideal, and drones are going down. Reynor, he's taking a lot of losses already. Ooh, forced to cancel. Shades into the main, more drones falling, and this is already becoming critical damage here. Shading in towards that third. MaxPax pulling a hero. It's like, who cares about macro? Who cares about a longer game state? No. Let's start things off with a bang. Start things off with a win. 15 drone kills. Oh my god, the one adept still alive here at the natural. 50 workers go down. That is basically a full mineral line. There's still more adepts. And drones are still being denied, or mining is still being denied here at the third. So very strong start for MaxPax. Oracle's, no, sorry, the Spore is not here. Oracle dives in, and more drones are falling. MaxPax, he's still not done. 18, 19, 20 drone kills. No. 20 workers go down. Larva as well. Denied mining time. Cancelled bases. Just chaos, havoc all over the place. And remember, this is not an all-in. That is what is terrifying. That is what is devastating about this style, is that MaxPax behind this, getting into a transition. Blink is almost done. Getting to Blink, Forge, +1, Robo, Temple Archives. Some players like going double Robo into Immortal from here. We can see MaxPax going into Blink, delaying Immortal production, but regardless, he has a standing army. MaxPax, he's perfectly fine. Roach speed just began. Reynor, he's not counterattacking anytime soon. There is no early counterattack. MaxPax, safe and sound, is ahead in the economy. He's pushing in. You may be looking at this and being like, oh, Reynor, you know, he's on 66 drones. That's 3-base saturation. He's okay, Copium. The problem here is that he invested so much lava into rebuilding that economy that the army is lacking. As we can see here, this is the army, and Reynor, he just cannot keep up. Whereas otherwise he would have been building up an army with a secure economy. Here he had to rebuild the economy instead. The army is non-existent. Queens are going down, and MaxPax is coming in to knock Reynor down. The soup does lie, as the army supply here is inflated by the roaches and by the ravagers. So even though Reynor, he's up in the army supply, it's not accurate. It's that's safe, Pappy. That's it. It deceives. As MaxPax is moving in again, trading well against all these things. He's got stage traps behind this to make sure it doesn't get surrounded. If Reynor is able to build up a solid roach count, though, he can survive. It's all about building up those roaches. Oh, speaking of, roaches are going down. Takes out one stalker. Oh god. Yeah, as more roaches are falling. There's stage traps behind this. Reynor, he's aware he has to back up. At the same time, adepts, they do hit the fourth. Making sure there is no mining, there is no economy. MaxPax getting further ahead, getting a fourth base, getting it saturated. Behind this, Storm is on the way. +2 as well into charge, immortal production as well. MaxPax refining his army. And Reynor doing everything he can to live. He's trying to hold on. Up! Ooh, gets a Ravager. Brutal pickoff. Roach speed is now done. We have Burrow and Tunneling Claws on the way. Now, this is a way for Reynor to bounce back. He has to do something crazy, something wild. He has to go for either drop lords or run bys or Tunneling Claw roaches to get across the map to get some kind of damage done. We'll see if he can, as he still needs more time. From here, MaxPax rotating. He's like, you know what if I just kill the base? Yeah. Rotates, gets one, gets two. Two overlords. Fighting for the back. Stasis traps that get baited out. Not bad. There's still two more behind this, though. And remember, behind all of this, High Templar, they're gathering energy. Immortals are backing up. Stalkers as well. MaxPax, he's just getting that greater army up and running. And they're trying to hold on. Burrow's almost done. In a couple of seconds. Stasis goes off on the Lings. Another stay. Oh no! Oh my god. Whew. As thankfully the third stasis doesn't quite go off. Roach run by has arrived. Distracting MaxPax. Reynor pushing in through the left hand side. Trying to pull MaxPax apart. The last MaxPax is in position. Observers with the main army, but there is potential on the right hand side for those Tunneling Claw roaches. Ooh, storms popping up. The Vials! Oh, they graze the Immortal and some of the Stalkers. There it is. There's the bar. See what Reynor can get done. Behind this, oh, Infestation is just now on the way at the 11-minute mark. Prism into the main. More results on the way. And we'll see how Reynor does respond. Main army moves out. Oh! There's the Unburrow. Roaches get caught. Reynor getting caught off guard. It's going to be 9 more drone kills. And GG. GG gets called. The writing was on the wall for a while there, and MaxPax takes the lead. MaxPax takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG will play it again. MaxPax kind of working against his reputation here, opening up with Glaive Adepts. I do appreciate this. I do think it's a really smart way to play out a series. I do not expect MaxPax to go Glaive Adepts again in this series, but it's a good way to start things off and a good way to kind of catch your opponent off guard and keep them off balance as well. So a strong start here for MaxPax. Reynor, it's going to be on him to take a breath, to recover, and to settle into our next game. Ooh, we're going to be loading into a much larger map here. So again, these more aggressive builds, they're favored on smaller maps like ley lines. Now we're going to be loading into a much larger map. We're going to be loading into Amygdala. Oh boy. We'll see if Reynor can recover here. As Amygdala, very large map, very defendable as well. Now we have seen a lot of Protoss players, including MaxPax, go for 3 base 8 gate all-ins. This is typically reliant upon expanding towards their opponent, towards the Zerg player, keeping up pressure and overwhelming over time. We have seen MaxPax have success with this. We'll see if he does that here as well, or if he takes a more macro approach instead. Again, I'm not opposed to seeing something more macro oriented here in game number 2 after a more aggressive build in game 1. And typically it's on the Zerg player to react, to respond, and to adapt. Catching with the chat. Shema. Shema, papi, Shema. Good to see you. Shema. See, Cyberjot in the chat. Easy feel as well. Get that, get that. Psychon, Soundo. Kalasi, get that. We did Smurge. Oh no. Smurge, papi, Smurge. I mean, Glaive Adepts can be really brutal to deal with. You could, if you recall when it occurred, I was really concerned when we saw the initial placement of the Roach Warren. You could argue that I mean, I would say that was a big part of the damage that was being dealt there. Unfortunately, because of the Roach Warren placement, we saw just really rough SimCity that was required for Reynor. He thought that he was walled off. He wasn't, right? He threw down like some panic Evo chambers, and he was trying to wall off, but wasn't able to. Adepts, they got in anyway. It was a rough moment. For sure. And it all just snowballed from there. But now we're getting to game 2. And I want to believe we're going to have a back and forth. I'm going to believe. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the Italian Zerg player, the blue Zerg, representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. Leading the series 1-0. Like your red striped shirts. Thank you. We'll get there eventually. Have yet to do the laundry. Don't worry, don't worry. I'll wear them again one day. It'll happen. But now though, to our standard openers, and welcome one and all to Amygdala, of course. Welcome. Amygdala being a very large map of the map pool, long rush distance by ground. There are potential gold bases. Once you gain map control, you can embrace the gold, and we have seen a lot of late game on Amygdala. If you recall, Serral versus MaxPax, even Serral versus Hero in Masters Coliseum, we saw a lot of late game here on this map, split map scenarios as well. The reason for this is because of all these rocks, it can be quite difficult early on to punish a third, a fourth, and a fifth base. Can be difficult to punish here. Because of that, I mean, we can end up in a maxed out kind of scenario, a late game composition scenario a little bit faster. Likewise, once these rocks get knocked down, then you can start to rotate between bases. Now you can start to try to pivot around and keep up with the armies. But Protoss players have been getting very, very good at keeping up with that, at splitting up their armies into two, keeping up with all these rotations and maintaining their defensive positions, and being as efficient as possible. If you recall, I'm brought back to, God, what game was it in the Serral MaxPax series where MaxPax, he was playing it out beautifully, and he was even I think it was game one. It was game one. No, sorry, it was not game one of MaxPax and Serral. It was. Let's see. Was it LiuLi Cup? Yeah, it was game one of their series on LiuLi Cup between MaxPax and Serral, where MaxPax, he was playing beautifully the entire time. He was out trading Serral, he was out mining him, he had more bases, he had more economy, and then Serral had some amazing fights, specifically, if you recall, where he was able to catch out the army with fungal growths, where I would say that MaxPax got impatient. It's something that doesn't often happen, but I do think he got impatient. He did overextend that one time. He got caught out by fungal growths. And then it happened once here towards the south, and it happened once here towards the north as well. And that was enough for Serral to bounce back and to recover. We'll see if we can get into that kind of game state again. I know that MaxPax is willing to. I don't know if Reynor is. Reynor, he has expressed his disdain when it comes to late game ZVP, and how difficult it can be, and how passive you need to be, or how more patient, and how, yeah, it's not really Reynor's style here. I mean, that's why we love, like, players on the dichotomy between Reynor and Serral. Same with Hero and MaxPax, for example, where they're like two sides of the same coin, where one of the players is a little more macro and the other player is a little more aggressive. But yeah, because of that, I don't know if Reynor is willing to end up in that kind of game state. I'm always reminded of, if you recall, Reynor recently played against Spirit, where Spirit, he's also known for slowing the game down, and Reynor was getting very chatty in game. Like, he was he was like, really? Like, are we playing like turret defense? Like, what's going like spamming dots, like visibly getting frustrated. I think we had Reynor on cams at the time as well, and like that's how he'd be. Like, he just wants to fight. He just wants to go in. He wants to be like active and aggressive. And yeah, there are definitely states in SE2 that kind of stop that from happening and can deny that. So Reynor, not the most patient player. We'll see. But now we're settling in. Ooh, Robo first. Hello. We are setting up for an Archon drop. Okay, so as we were yapping away, standard opener into a third base with the Oracle with the Stargate, but as you can see here, no additional Oracles. Just one Oracle into a faster Robo, into a delayed Twilight Council, into what should be a Templar Archives, into a War Prism, into a High Templar, Archons, and Archon drop. This is a build that has been permeating throughout the, I would say, European region. Of course, Mana is known for this, Cristiano is known for this, Geralt does dip into this every now and then. The Polish Protosses, they kind of, thrived on this for a long time. And in more recent times, it does feel like MaxPax and even Hero have been mixing this in every now and then as well. Mainly more MaxPax and Hero. But here comes that War Prism, as we mentioned again, War Prism into Archons. And there's that Temple Archives. So the Archon drop is coming. This leads into Charge, of course, into +1, into eventually Storm. As there's the Fortune +1. Prism moves out. And the goal here is to hunt down Overlords, hunt down Queens, get some drone damage, and more importantly, maintain map control. And allow MaxPax to actually saturate on 3 bases, take gases, and get a 4th. Now, there is going to be a timing, specifically with Charge and +1. There's going to be a +1 charge timing available to MaxPax. He can try to commit to it. If he recognizes in time that he won't be able to deal any critical damage with it, he can deviate away and, of course, get into Storm and just macro and max out and throw down a Fleet Beacon and get into Sky Toss. So that +1 charge timing, like, it doesn't have to be an all-in. If you recognize that there isn't really an opening, you can just get into Sky Toss. He wants to go Jelly. He wants the Queen. Ooh. The Prism overextends. Does take a lot of hold damage. Abandons one of the Archons, and one Archon goes down. Massive pickup here by Reynor, and MaxPax did get a little bit impatient there, get a little bit too excited, and does lose an Archon. Big loss from MaxPax, and Reynor does punish. Whew. So again, that was a bit of a blunder from MaxPax. That should not have happened. With that, MaxPax does need to tighten things up here. Oracle towards the bases. MaxPax still getting some damage done, but again, the Archon, losing an Archon that early on, it's a pretty big loss. Does take a little momentum away from MaxPax as he pulls away. Storm has begun. Third base fully saturated, building up 2 Immortals at a time, and there's the 4th. Third base on the way. What we do force a cancel. Nice pick up here by Reynor. Does deny the expansion. Reynor behind this, taking up into that late game in towards a Hive and Lurkers as well. So Reynor, he is not setting up for an earlier push. He is embracing a longer game, at least for now. Nice around, catching up for Zealots, keeping the Zealot count low. Meaning the MaxPax's army, I mean, he won't be able to hit as strong of a timing now if he did want to. Goal base on the way. Reynor is droned up to 86, successfully droned up, might I add. And here comes MaxPax. Now the question becomes, does MaxPax commit into a move out, into a push, or does he posture, deny creep, and then throw down a Fleet Beacon? I'm leaning towards Fleet Beacon at this point. To be fair, Reynor doesn't have any Lurkers. True, there are no Lurkers ready. Not yet. So MaxPax, he has an opportunity here. For now, denying mining time. Rotating over at the same time, Reynor getting ready for a counterattack or a surround. Does that run right towards the south? Does distract Reynor. Getting a couple of workers. Getting a couple of workers. More Head Templar warping in. Reynor still, I believe, no Lurkers yet. I'm concerned for him. MaxPax going for the storms. Zones Reynor away. Storm on the Lings. Yeah, these are brutal storms. And Reynor, he's getting caught out. Has he been too greedy? Did he delay production too long? There's 3 Lurkers on the way, but Reynor, I don't think he can stop this. At this point, even with these Lurkers finishing, there's only 3 of them. There's plenty of Immortals, plenty of storms. Once again, Reynor, he attempts to surround. And Reynor, he abandons the base. MaxPax, he can collapse into this. Takes out the expansion. MaxPax is being very tentative. I do think he can be a little bit more adventurous here. A little bit more brazen. Just came with the production. He checks, he sees only 3 Lurkers. He has enough. 2 more Lurkers on the way. The longer this goes on, the worse it's going to be for MaxPax, but he is pushing through. You have massive storms, the Lurker line, it's going to go down. 2 more Lurkers, 3 more Lurkers morph in. But again, it's only 3. Prism's getting low. Up! Prism goes down. No more reinforcements. Nice snipe from Reynor. And from here, MaxPax has a choice. He could either push in and go for the natural or rotate over towards the 3rd base. What does he go for? He's rotating. Rotating instead, massive storms. Army comes in from behind, the lurkers are exposed, he gets one, he gets two, there's one lurker left, 0 left, GG gets called, and MaxPax takes the 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played, MaxPax. He extends his lead in the series. As a reminder, it's the best of 5. We do have at least one more game ahead of us, but Reynor, he is in trouble here. Again, Reynor, he did decide to drone all the way up to 86, and he also decided to tech all the way up to lurkers, but he was only sticking with purely Ling Hydra up until that point. He didn't make any safety lair tech lurkers, he didn't cut workers early on to try to embrace into lurkers earlier. Again, as you mentioned, there was a big window because of Reynor's greed. There was a big window where he was vulnerable, and Reynor, he didn't take that push seriously enough. As we were trying to mention, if MaxPax did notice that there was too much of a defensive line, if there were already lurkers in position, then Max could just back off and then tech up into Skytoss. But as we saw, I mean, as he saw, there was an opening. There were no lurkers whatsoever, only 3 lurkers morphing in towards the end. There was just not enough to defend. MaxPax goes for the kill. Does commit, does go for the kill. GG, well played. Whew. And with that, I'm hoping we get a back and forth. I'm hoping that Reynor can bounce back here and bring us back to, you know, an extended series into Game 4, into Game 5. But things are looking a little bit rough here for Reynor. What I will say is that there is going to be potential coming into Game 3. Game 3 is going to be on El Dorado. Interesting. Now again, El Dorado is a really quirky map. Like, it shares some unique features for defensive play or sometimes aggressive play as well. There's the goal bases, there's also the terrain. There's a lot to get into, and it does typically allow for more stylistic play to actually shine a little bit more as well. So we'll see what Reynor has in store for us here on El Dorado. The pressure is on. Pressure is on. Not even Sky Toss. But again, like, winding it back to that game, it was just Reynor being hyper greedy. Like, he was being very greedy. Again, joining up to 87, taking up into Hive, into Lurker Tech, not making a single Lurker until he started those Lurker upgrades on Hive Tech as well. Like, Reynor, he was cutting a lot of corners. You know what we say? What happened to Reynor? His pants were down, papi. Got caught with his pants down. Ay, ay, ay. Wear a belt, papi. Wear a belt. Be safe. Animal. And here we go, we're getting into game number 3 and spawning. Oh, let's go, going for a 12 pool. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of El Dorado, we have the Italian Zurich player representing Passless going for the 12 pool. It is Reynor. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the red Protoss player representing Sidestorm Gaming, leading the series at 2-0, 1 game away from advancing on into the next round. It is MaxPax. Here we go. Here we go. You're going to suggest that all SC2 players use protection just in case? I'm going to suggest that Hero, he should think about walling off his natural every now and then. That's what I'm going to suggest. That's what I... Este Hero. Ay, ay, ay. He just opens up and lets anyone inside. Oh no. Hero, look after yourself, Papi. Look after yourself. Ay, ay, ay. Look, I'm just saying, mate, last night's Heroes matches. It was a prime example, Papi. Prime example. Hero. And we'll pull the voice. Would it still be Hero if he probably will though? Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Anyway, it's going to be a 12-pool drone pool. 12-pool drone pool, one or another. The game is about to end. Reynor, he has had enough, and it's all or nothing. Meanwhile, MaxPax back at home for the time being. He's in the dark. He has no probe scout. Uh-oh. No probe scout here out of MaxPax, which means Reynor, he can overwhelm this pylon, and he can end the game. No units, no zealots, no nothing here for MaxPax. And Reynor, he's going to shut down the production. Pylon is exposed, pylon goes down. Again, 0 probe scout for MaxPax. Pylon goes down, no production, purely probe. And Reynor, I think he just wins. I'll be honest, I think he just wins from here. It comes in with a surround, the probes, they try to get him to the drone drilling. I see, done here by Reynor, he shuts down the probes. And with that, we have a series. GG gets called, Reynor. It's time for MaxPax to be caught with his pants down. No probe scout. MaxPax had no idea what was going on. He gets punished for his greed, and Reynor fights back. Let's go. GG, well played. Again, without a probe scout, MaxPax, he had no tell that there was an early pool, that there was no hatchery, that there was anything happening. He was completely blind as to what was going on, and he gets punished for it. GG. GG, well played. We have a series. We have a series. Beautiful. The Geralt Slayer build. Let's go. There's a PSA for all Protoss players out there. Probe Scout. The PSA. Probe Scout. It'll keep you safe. Oh. Yo. And as we get into our next game, are we off racing? No shot. No shot. Okay, we're good. Never mind. Main race. Okay, for a moment there, I thought we were going to see something very different. We're all good. As our next game is going to be on Ultra Love. What a macro game, showcasing the Zerg late game. I mean, MaxPax has not been showcasing the Protoss late game either, to be fair. That has... No one has done that. No one has done that this series so far. And here we go, we're getting into game number 4. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the blue Zerg player from the land of Italy, representing Basilisk, being... let's go, he's doing it again! Going for the 12 pool once again. 2 games. What are the odds that he thinks that your opponent thinks you're going to do it twice in a row? No shot, no chance. This time though, thankfully, there's a pro moving out. It is Reynor. And spawning in the top right-hand corner. This time he's being sensible. This time he's actually scouting his opponent. Thankfully, he won't be caught with his pants down twice in a row. Not this time. From Denmark, it is MaxPax. Oh, he's crazy. The probe has left the station, and he is here to scout. Drone moves down. Hopefully, MaxPax... I mean, again, even if he doesn't go into the main base, he should see the Lings. He should see the Lings as they move out. As we do see Reynor, he's banking up Larva here, or ideally he's banking up for those Lings. And of course, Reynor, he's aware of the probe. He knows that the probe is there, so he knows that it's going to be unlikely for him to get away with pulling the boys unscouted. There's a probe scout, confirms timing of the spawning pool. Now MaxPax knows. Is aware of what's going on. Here comes the drone. Hatch. We're going for a hatch block. Reynor slipping in. Oh, unfortunately, there's no room here to block and wall off the wall, as that is going to be a Cyber Core before Nexus. Very safe play here by MaxPax. So for those that are curious, typically you would delay this Cyber Core and go for a Nexus first, but MaxPax went for the Cyber Core before Nexus, playing very safe despite not even knowing the drone was coming. Lings are moving in, but this means that there is a wall. There is a wall that is set up, and MaxPax is secure. Just really safe play out of MaxPax. Behind this Reynor, he expands. And Reynor's droning. So Reynor is going to try to macro from here. Lings have arrived. They're hoping for a surround on the Zealots. If MaxPax isn't too careful, then he will get surrounded. So it's a very delicate dance here with the Zealots, as the Gateway's taking a lot of hits. Up! Gets a swipe off. Up! Gets another. Does pull the boys to make sure the Zealot doesn't get surrounded, and with that, MaxPax he holds. With 2 Zealots he has held, he won't lose any gateways. The expansion is heavily delayed, and from here, Reynor should cancel the hatchery. And it's going to be on Reynor to survive the counterattack. What I'm referring to here, what's left over? 2 Zealots and 2 Adepts. He's the first, soon to be a second Adept. This is a lot of army that can counterattack and that can wreak havoc across the map. The hatchery finishes! Reynor, he's going to commit even harder here. He's going for the Queen, and the purpose of this Queen is to spread creep. It's to spread creep, to get a tumor down, and to delay even further. Behind this Reynor, he's been droning his heart out. Lings, they race back home. Zealots, they kept busy here at the hatchery. Up, the probe gets 1. 1 probe goes down. Adepts, they turn back around. Lings, they get another probe. MaxPax sipping up a little bit here, as that's 2 probes going down. And here comes the Queen. Queen about to pop. Lings, oh, they almost get a surround. And more Lings popping out. Does he get the tumor? Nah, he shouldn't. Yeah, he shouldn't get the tumor. Queen is going to be cleaned up. Lings, they bust into the main. They try to get another probe, but can they? They can. Ooh, third probe goes down. Can they get a fourth? Not quite. Good probe drilling here from MaxPax. With that, the proxy has been dealt with. And Reynor behind this, he is getting into link speed, or ideally wants to get into the gas geyser into link speed. Now, this is going to be a tough hold for Reynor. We mentioned it before. This is quite an army. No longer is it 2 adepts and 2 zealots. It is 3 adepts and 2 zealots, and actually, did I say 3? 5 adepts. 5 adepts and 2 zealots moving out across the map against 2 queens and a handful of slow lings. It's going to be a tough hold. It's going to be a tough hold here for Reynor. See if he can maintain himself. Alas, actually, some of those adepts, they get left back at home. Never mind. Only 3 and 2. Okay. So 2 adepts, they do remain back home. So MaxPax, he does have less to push in. And with that, Reynor, he surrounds the zealots. We'll shut them down. Shuts down the zealots. Adepts, they cancel the shade. Reynor, he is stabilizing. And so is MaxPax. Okay. Whew. I see in the chat, MaxPax should pro pool as revenge. True. Yo, imagine if MaxPax had counterattack with 5 adepts, 2 zealots, and the boys. Like, unironically, MaxPax might have been able to break this. Like, unironically. It would have been crazy, by the way. It would have been crazy. Actually, with Reynor pulling his own boys, I think it would have been okay. Yeah. Never mind. I'm overestimating the power of 5 adepts. Regardless, would have been fun, is what I will say. Would have been amazing. From here, MaxPax, he's going to be stabilizing, getting expanding, getting his natural Void Ray into Oracle. Meanwhile, Reynor back at home, getting a 3rd base, droning up and going for link speed. What I find most interesting though, Reynor, he's not droning. Reynor, he's cut workers at 35, he's making more lings. And Reynor, I mean, to be fair, I mean, he needs to. That's a lot of adepts. Jesus. 7 adepts? 9! 9 adepts here for MaxPax. Threatens a shade, gets a queen! Oh, we're down a queen. 2 queens left. Voider has right. Like, again, like, this army looks small, but in this kind of game state, like, this army has so much potential. Link speed finishing up in 7 seconds. Shades into the middle line. Drones going down. Oh, this is getting out of hand. This is already getting out of hand. Good position here behind the mineral line. Lings, they come in for the surround, and they will clean this up. As they shades over the queen. Queen goes down. Massive pickup. Oracle supports. Some rough trades here for Reynor, as he will lose so many lings. Void, oh, get out of position. Going for the hatchery. Can he kill the expansion? I should be able to. Yeah, the queen should be able to keep up. As more drones are going down, remember the queens have been dying, so there's no queens here in between the bases. Yeah, 0 queens to defend. GG MaxPax. He does end up punishing Reynor, and MaxPax will take the series 3-1, advancing on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. MaxPax, he overwhelms. He will take the series. Shout out to Reynor for making a series out of this, for being able to take a game here against MaxPax on El Dorado. A very entertaining game. But outside of that, MaxPax looking very solid, looking very stable. Here in the game 4, was able to punish the initial 12 pool proxy hatchery. I'm a little bit shocked that Reynor did allow it to finish. Reynor, he was very committed when it comes to getting damage done across the map. In the end, it wasn't worth it. And again, we see just how difficult it can be to transition out of a 12 pool because your link speed is so late. Because link speed is so late and your droning is so delayed, and like just early on, a handful of adepts can overwhelm. Like a handful of adepts, an Oracle, and a Void Ray. Sometimes that's all you need. It's just it just makes for a really awkward like early game defense. And with that, congratulations, MaxPax will advance on. Likewise, game 1 and game 2. Game 1, if you recall, I do feel like a lot of it came down to the misplaced Roach Warren. Like, the Roach Warren placement was really rough for Reynor, so he never even had an opportunity to stop the first wave of adepts. For those who weren't here, it was Glaive Adepts. Glaive Adept build in game 1, and Reynor, he had a really chaotic attempted wall off at the natural, which didn't really quite work out, and adepts, they just wreaked havoc and just pulled him apart. Game number 2, of course, we did have a much more standard setup with Reynor being too greedy. Reynor, he was too greedy, he droned up, he teched up, and then he died. He just didn't have an army to survive against the push of MaxPax. So Yeah, in the end, congratulations to MaxPax, and that leads us into our next series. Here we go, as we switch our scenes over and catch up on the bracket. Here we go. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at it yourselves. I believe the Wikipedia page should be updated. Ooh, let's just refresh and catch up together. Okay. So LiuLi Cup has been a fun tournament so far. We've had the best of the best facing up against each other here in LiuLi Cup. We of course had MaxPax previously taking down Serral taking down MaxPax previously. Clem took down Hero, and we have the upper the upper bracket finals coming up next. The upper bracket finals here, best of 5 between Serral and Clem. The rematch of the ages. Let's go. Best Zerg player in the world going up against the best Terran, or the best player in the world. Here we go. You don't get better ZVT than this. I mean, I say that. I think I mentioned before, and I do stand by it still as well. I do think that currently the best opponent in this matchup, specifically for Clem, has been Reynor. Reynor has had some amazing games in WTL, in Star Zagora, some amazing ZVTs. I'm curious if Serral has been willing to adapt and to try to emulate Reynor in this matchup. It's been a while since these two have faced off against each other, so I'm curious how Serral has changed, if at all. For those that are curious, Serral, he would very often go for more... I mean, to be fair, the last time Serral and Clem played was in the previous map pool. If you recall, it was at EWC in the previous map pool, and we saw Clem doing an amazing job at just punishing Serral time and time again. Very often, we saw Serral attempt to go for gasless openers, often punish for it. We saw Serral try to go for certain all-ins on certain maps as well, also scout and punish for it as well. Like, Clem was just all over Serral. But I'm, again, curious if Serral did take notes of Reynor's matches against Clem, where Reynor was a little more active, a little more aggressive. Reynor, he would often not open Roach, he would open up Ling Bane, he would embrace mass Muta as well, go for mass counterattacks. Reynor, with a much more aggressive style, did have more success against Clem. So we'll see. We'll see how Serral will approach this. We'll see if he has adapted and switched things up. Just because, on top of that, new patch, new map pool as well, I'm curious to see how they compare. I do still favor Clem coming into this, but I do think that Serral has a good shot and a good chance, and I'm ready. I'm just curious to see how they perform against each other. I'm more curious than anything. Scrolling down a little bit further here, we have the matches that just concluded. Of course, MaxPax took down Skillus, now Reynor as well, and MaxPax, he's waiting for the loser of this series. If you're a fan of either Serral or Clem, do not worry, because hey, the loser will still be in the tournament. There is a safety net underneath these two players as they're coming from the upper bracket, and it is double elimination, so they will still have another chance, potentially for another rematch. True, we could see another rematch here, as they are facing off against each other, and the loser will face off against MaxPax tomorrow. As a reminder, today only 2 series. Today was MaxPax v Reynor and Serral v Clem. Tomorrow is going to be lower bracket finals and the grand finals. So a 5-day event, and we will crown our champion tomorrow. Go. It's catching up in the chat. Just catching up. A Protoss not named Clem? Why would you not want a Protoss named Clem to win? What do you mean? Clem, the best Protoss in the world, papi. You want him to be a representative, obviously. So still potential for a Protoss champion, of course. Protoss in the finals, PvP finals, even maybe it's possible. Here we go. Clem, sorry. Yes, let's go. For now, though, we're going to be going on a break. For now, we're going to be going on a short break, and when we come back, we will have our next series. Vetoes are currently underway, so vetoes, they're currently being conducted, and when we return, we'll have that finals. See you soon. Oh. Well, the upper bracket finals, I should say. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the upper bracket finals of the LiuLi Cup 2024 Grand Finals Playoffs, day number 4. We have a treat for you. We have the best of the best, the best Terran and the best Zerg player now going to be facing off for the first time in 2025. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the blue Zerg player from the land of Finland representing Basilisk. It is Serral. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Here we go. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat, as it's not going to be an easy one here for Serral. Again, Clem has a very dominant record over Serral. To be fair, they haven't really played too often. I was quickly looking at their history of 2024, and they have not played often at all. Actually, they played in 3 tournaments last year. They played in 3 tournaments. They played in IM Katowice, they played in Esports World Cup, and Home Story Cup. I almost forgot about Home Story Cup, but yes, they did play. That was in the beginning of December. That was on the latest patch, but that was also the first week of the latest patch, if you remember. Like, that was the week that the patch came out. So it's been a while since we have now had time to embrace the map pool and embrace the patch itself. And I'll be honest, at Home Story World Cup, at Home Story Cup, it was more of the same. It was more of the same when it comes to how Serral was playing against Clem. More of the same. I'm talking about how he played in EWC when it came to roach-based openers, when it came to gasless styles, when it came to greedy initial plays, and when it came to being punished for that as well. So I'm excited to see how Serral will now take his approach against Clem, to see how he has changed his approach in a month. Actually, I should say it's been almost 2 months. Almost 2 months since Home Story Cup. So it's had time to go over, to think about it, to ruminate. I'm ready. But now, Hatch Gas Pool standard opener. Standard opener here on ley lines makes plenty of sense. Likewise, Clem going for his own racks expand into factory. We very often did see Clem delaying his CC and going for a faster 1-1-1 and being hyper aggressive and getting damage done. We'll see if he does incorporate that. I doubt he will, though. That was typically off of the back of Serral opening up gases as well. So there were kind of requirements for that kind of build to be more viable and to be seen more often. Serral is going to take his third. Behind this, Clem going for his third CC. Again, third CC for Starport. Standard economic opener here out of Clem. And he will delay the hatchery. Doesn't delay for too long, but by a couple of seconds, so not a bad start here for Clem. Does delay the expansion. And from here, we can settle in. And again, what I want to see is more link bane aggression out of Serral. In general, if you recall what I was mentioning earlier here, is that we did see Reynor give Clem a much harder time in their series, in their matches. We saw Reynor time and time again take maps and even take series off of Clem. Again, just winding it back to WTL, to Star of Zagora, to EWC. Just some really amazing, really fun series between Clem and Reynor. But again, Reynor just taking a very different approach to Serral. We'll see. See if he's willing to be a little bit Italiano for us, papi. Let's go. Get that Reynor in him. But now, interesting. So it's going to be a third CC before Starport, not into Banshee, but into Liberator. So it's going to be a Hellion Liberator initially here for Clem. No big investment into Banshee tech. This tells us that Clem believes that we're not going to be seeing any roaches here. I also mentioned before that Serral, especially in the past couple of months, has been very roach heavy in this matchup. In general, roaches are just a really safe way to play, really safe way to approach ZVT, but also a slower way to approach ZVT. This tells us that Clem doesn't believe that Serral is going to play roaches, and as we can see so far, I mean, there's no roach one yet. Clem is going to be pivoting. Yeah, 4:30 lair timing here out of Serral, so it looks like lair first into Baling Nest, into Link Bane. Meanwhile, 2 SCVs going down. Nice run by here by Serral. Very nice start. Picks up a couple of workers, distracts the Hellions, gives himself some breathing room, keeping Clem busy while Serral can drone up. Drone up, spread creep, establish those queens, and get that natural base. Get that. I was going to say get the tech of the natural base. Hellions, they attempt a dive. Queens are keeping up so far. Liberator towards the third base. Likewise, Queens are in position, somewhat in position. Ooh, the Queen does take a couple of hits, but does survive. Hellions still poking in. Serral keeps up. Oh, one Queen goes down. And the Hellions, they head towards the third base. Oh, they threaten a dive, no commitment. So far, Serral keeps up, losing one Queen so far. For 2 SCVs. And as we mentioned, yep, there's that Bailey Nest, so Serral is going to be opening up Link Bane into double Evo Chamber into 1-1. Now, because of all this aggression from Clem, this Bailey Nest is actually late. It's a later Bailey Nest here, which means Bailing's speed is going to be delayed by a couple of seconds. I'm bringing that up. I don't know if that's going to actually impact this game. Hopefully it doesn't, but it's something to bear in mind. Is that the aggression of Clem was distracting Serral. Lings, they attempt to run by. This time Clem is in position. Doesn't let them through. Let's go. So again, Clem looking for a way in. As we settle into this, I did not quite notice, but apparently, Shadow, we got a new patron. We did get a new patron, so thank you so much. Thank you for joining our Patreon. We do appreciate it. We're one step closer to our goal. Thank you. I'll give a proper shout out after this game or after the series. We'll get there. Do appreciate it. As Clem is going to be pushing, he is taking gases here at his third, so this is not a three-way soul win, but it is a very strong timing here, hitting actually a couple of seconds earlier than normal, as the medevacs are going to be lifted up. Sorry, I should say the tanks going to be lifted up by the medevacs, and the tanks, they will siege up to deny the fourth base. And we'll see if Clem can shut this down. Bailey, I mean, we mentioned it earlier, Bailey's speed was delayed, and Bailey's speed is not ready. One, almost 2 Queens going down. Bailey's, they try to crash in. Clem, this timing is brutal. He denies the fourth base. Massive pickup. Denies the fifth base even. As Serral did take the northern fourth. True. My apologies. That was the fifth. But yeah, that earlier aggression has allowed Clem to deny the fifth. Not bad. Clem does move out. I mean, he's dealt his damage. Clem should be getting out of here. If he sticks around too long, he might get surrounded. And there we go. He will unsiege. He will back off. So very successful attack here from Clem. From here, he's rotating. Reinforcements are on the way. And Serral is on the back foot. Now, thankfully, he's on a secure income, but he does need more bases. He needs more larva. Ooh, brutal supply block. Oh, Overlord goes down. Serral making 8 Overlords at a time. Collapsing the army, trying to get to Marine. Ooh, Bailing drop gets denied. Quick moves here out of Clem. Does lose 4 SCVs. And Serral even keeps 2 Bailings alive. Not bad. Let's go. Serral going for his own drop play. Trying to keep up with the speed of Clem. Likewise, Clem reinforcing. Tanks moving in. Again, there's barely any creep here stopping this army. Serral, he is up against the wall, being forced further back. As once again, Bailing drop in towards the middle line is going to be shut down. But Serral, he is ready here to deny the base. Clem contained on 3 bases. His 4th is delayed. So far, so good. Both armies are maxing out, and Clem, he was unable to push up this ramp, unable to break through, forced to back off. Whew, okay, we've made it out of the woods. Kind of. From here, Serral, he's taking up. Infestation Bit's now on the way into 2-2, into Hive Tech, into Vipers. Most likely Link Bane Ultra, as I'm assuming there's no hydrogen yet, so I'm assuming Link Bane Ultra. But Clem, he wants to knock down that 5th. Oh, Serral out of position. But does try to catch at the army. Doesn't quite get the connections he's hoping for, but does go for a massive counterattack. Trying to knock down that front door. Tank goes down. Clem out of position. Clem, he can take down this hatchery, but that's all he's going to get. Just a hatchery. Meanwhile, Serral, he wants the mineral lines. SCV's going down. We have Lynx here at the 4th base. Lynx here at the natural. Banelings, they bust into the main. And everything's flashing red. Everything's on fire. And Clem, he's all in. He's all in at this point. Trying to dive forward. Takes a base to the face. Now Serral, he can give up this expansion. He wouldn't want to, but he can give it up. He doesn't have to fight here. He's committing though. Does dive in. Ooh, mine shot going up. And the buyer's going down. The tanks are going down. Serral, he shuts down the army, and Serral, he will overwhelm. The economy is non-existent. The base, the army crumbles. There's a handful of SCVs left. Whew. Again, it was a risky maneuver for Serral to go for the massive counterattack that he went for. He gave up on his base. He gave up on the 5th, but it was worth it. It was worth it in the end. It was Clem who was out of position. Clem who wasn't able to keep up with the army. And Serral just has to play it safe. Just calm things. Oh no! The jump alert. But Serral just has to calm down. Oh no! Oh my god. They're bird banelings. There was potential. Just has to play it safe. Settle down. Rebuild more Ling Bane and just defend. That's all we need to do. Defend. Oh! Decent split. Decent spread. Widowmine does survive though. We're gonna get another shot off. Clem moving in. Army supplies are comparable. Now the soup is lying a little bit here in those supplies are comparable. A lot of that supply is in medevacs for Clem, and GG gets called. Yeah, he's run out of steam. Serral, he will take game number 1. Whew, GG, and this is what I wanted to see. I did want to see Ling Bane openers and Ling Bane play out of Serral, not roaches. I did see someone saying earlier, and I think this is like a sentiment that is kind of spread from people that didn't watch EWC, is saying that like, oh, like Serral's slower. That is not necessarily true. When it comes to those matches that happen at EWC, like we were talking about it at the time because we were co-streaming at the time. Serral, he was playing slower. He had a slower army and a slower style against Clem, but that's also because of his builds. Like his builds were, as we kind of were trying to emphasize, very roach based, very roach heavy builds and very roach heavy compositions. Because of that, that's one of the reasons why Serral had a bit of a harder time keeping up with Clem. We didn't see that here, not this time. I'm here for it. Get rid of the roaches. Get rid of the roach openers. If you recall, at the time, Serral, he was saying that it was just a really safe way to open up in ZVT and a really safe way to play. The downside is, of course, immobility, right? That's the downside. And it was good enough to take down every other Terran player in the world except for Clem. So when going up against Clem, clearly something like a roach opener that's meant to keep you safe doesn't keep you safe. So why go for it, right? Like why go for it if it's going to be your downfall anyway? So I appreciate that Serral is mixing it up here, at least in game 1, but now we're getting into game 2, and we'll see how we do shake things up here as we're going to be loading into Frostline. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Frostline, we have the blue Zerg player. We have the Finnish Zerg representing Basilisk, leading the series 1-0. It is Serral. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the reigning world champion, the French Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And this is going to be a wild map. Welcome on and all to Frostline. Frostline is known for having very exposed bases, very insecure bases. I'm referring to the 3rd, referring to the 4th, referring to the 5th base as well. The self-esteem for these expansions are very low. And because that, it can be very difficult to defend. It can be very difficult to be the defending player. This goes both ways. So if we kind of imagine game 1 playing out here, I can see this being more chaotic and more bases going down from both sides. It can just be really difficult to, even as a Terran player, get some good SimCity going, bunkers, reacting time as well. The map itself does kind of favor whoever is being the more aggressive player. But we'll see. We'll see how our players do open up. Again, I don't think this is a good map for roaches because of how large the map is and because of how spread out the map is. I would want to not see a roach-based opener out of Serral, not here. I do think there are maps where you can get away with that, like maybe Whispers of Gold. I think that Whispers of Gold is probably a roach map just because of how small it is. So even though roaches are more immobile, because of the size of the map, it's more viable. Potentially El Dorado as well. I'm on the fence about everything about El Dorado. Like it's just, yeah, I'm on the fence on that one. But I feel like for Whispers of Gold, for example, I could definitely see like roach play, maybe Ultra Love as well, maybe. For now though, we're settling in. We have our SCV scout here out of Clem, going for his own Rax expand into Reaper, and back at home, Serral just opening up in a standard fashion as well. Here we go. Really, this is where Serral goes like Muta or something crazy. I would love to see Serral go Mutas at some point in this series, but likewise, I think it's really map dependent. I can see Mutas working really well on Neon Violet Square if it didn't get vetoed, or Abyssal Reef as well. Likewise, if it didn't get vetoed. As the maps that I'm mentioning are also often vetoed maps as well. As behind this, Clem going for his third CC before Starport. Economic build out of Clem. Dips in. And does not get the drone. Whew. Doesn't get the worker. So headed towards that third. This time it's not going to be as delayed as previously. Now we can settle in. Now we can embrace the mid-game. Now, as a reminder, last game, Clem did go 3CC into Starport into Hellion Liberator, where he was able to get a queen. Didn't really get any worker kills, but did get a queen. We'll see if Clem mixes it up and goes for a Banshee instead. If so, we will be seeing a Tech Lab on this factory, sorry, on this Rax for an add-on swap. Tech Lab is on the way. We'll see if we do go for the swap into Banshee production. Otherwise, he could go for a Liberator into, or a Viking into earlier stim. Link speed does complete. Hellion has arrived. See Clem fishing for a creep tumor. There's the add-on swap into Banshee. That's how much more standard opener. Serral is making 18 lings. Oh my god. He's getting into a surge of lings. His goal, I would imagine, to zoom across the map to get into the mineral line. Yeah, you can see the lings, they skirt around the edge. They avoid the Hellion Reaper. Cheeky move here out of Serral. Now, we saw last game, Serral didn't invest this hard, but did get, I want to say, like 6 lings, went for a run by. He got 2 SCVs. This time, a bigger commitment. Hellion moves out. Serral, he sees everything with this Overlord. Yeah, he sees all, he knows all. There are going to be 2 more Hellions, though. Sorry, 3 Hellions to defend. And this may also prompt Clem to commit and to dive into a mineral line. As these lings are typically built to defend, not to attack. Here we go, they bust in. Boys being pulled away, lings, they bust into the main. And Clem, he races back home. He doesn't go into the mineral line. On the surround. Nice kiting, very nice kiting out of Clem. He pulls back, the Hellions, they will survive, and the lings are being cleaned up. Whew. He shuts us down. Clem, he shuts us down. Does get 8 SCVs. Serral, he's able to kill 8 SCVs, but for how many lings? Also 20? 24. Ooh, that was a big commitment, and I believe he killed no Hellions. Yeah, 0 Hellions died, so now Clem can go for a massive counterattack. If Serral had cut this Hellion cat in half, I think it'd be okay, but the Hellion cat is still looking strong, and he can just run past the queens. Oof. He can try. So far, Serral is keeping up, joining up behind this. Does make a handful of lings, more lings are on the way. Another ling run by. Getting another SCV, another 3 SCVs. Here comes the dive. Yeah, Clemmy's had enough. Dives in. Lings, they will stop him. And Serral's gonna shut this down. Yeah, nice catch. Clemmy gets baited in, losing everything. The Hellions, the Reapers, everything falls. Likewise, Banshee went down here on the right-hand side. And now Serral, he gains map control. Oh, this is a rough position for Clem. He lost everything for a handful of workers. He lost 6 SCVs in the process. What is there for him to defend? There's 3 Marines, the Vanilla Marines as well. Not enough lings. I mean, technically, Serral could try to dive in, but not enough lings to really threaten. We'll see. Gets a depot. That's a kill. That's a kill, not a cancel. Behind this, Serral just droning. Droning, saturating. My apologies. I assumed the first Banshee had died, but the first Banshee did survive. Oh no! I spoke too soon. Okay. Does get away. Clem pulls back. Does pull back in time. Catching the Overlord. Again, that Overlord was giving Serral so much information as to what was going on. Big reason as to why Serral was able to get damage done. And now Serral, he's going Ling Bane into Hydra. And again, a much more mobile composition. As a reminder, last game, Serral, he went purely Ling Bane. This time is going for a bit of a more gas-intensive composition. A little bit more straight up as well when it comes to these head-on engagements. And I feel like Serral he has slowed Clem down enough to get away with this. To start getting a fourth base, droning up, teching as well, spreading creep. The pressure is heavily on Clem here to be active. And thankfully he is. He is being active. He moves out with his double drop. He's hunting for Overlords, Queens, potentially some damage here at the fourth. As Serral, he will now scout. Gets like an extra couple of seconds heads up. Bathing speed is done. Oh! Gets one Queen. Nice pickup. One Queen for one Marine. A better trade for Clem. Behind this, Serral getting to 1-1 upgrades. Again, to prioritize bathing speed. Hydra speed now on the way. Ooh. Catching out two. Catching out three Queens. Three Queens going down. Very nice pickups. Whew. Catching out three Queens. Behind this, Clem getting a fourth CC. Moving out with his own double drop towards right hand side. And he does go up a lot of creep. A lot of creep goes down. Clem so far splitting up the attention here of Serral. Going for multi-prong aggression. Bathing run by, ooh, gets it, 9 SCVs! Ay, ay, ay. 9 workers go down. Nice counterattack here by Serral. Again, every time Clem comes in, Serral, he's either got a bathing run by or bathing drops in the last game as well. He's always there to punish in some way. But Serral, he overreacts. He does leave the space exposed. Ooh, Serral out of position. Completely out of position. The base, it may just go down. Yeah, big misstep there from Serral. Can he save it? Okay, he will. Does save the expansion. Drop is still in position. This time, Serral, he will leave his army. But I don't think he has enough bailings here. Yeah, rough split. He has to send more over. Oh, he leaves. He abandons the base. He abandons the expansion. Clem, he should get the kill here. And so far, this push from Clem was successful. As long as he doesn't lose everything. Oh no! The Marines! The Marines, they get behind. Oh my god. He has to get out of here. Kills the expansion, as we did mention. Clem fighting back. Ooh. Losing a medevac. Thankfully, the empty medevac. Could have been worse. I'm keeping up the pressure. Serral, I believe, still on Lair Tech. Has yet to take it to Hive. No Vipers. Just purely Ling Bane Hydra. I would say this time Serral may be leaving a little bit too much to defend towards the south. But a lot of Widowmites go down. Gains up, what, 6? It's just 3 Marines here. And Serral, he does notice. Notice he's keeping. Oh, another medevac! Oh my god. Oh no! One shot away. Clem reinforcing. Again, it's on Serral to accurately kind of split up his army. Get rid of what's coming his way. Takes out the Widowmite, chasing down the army, at the same time collapsing on the force. Yeah, Serral shutting Clem down. And now it's time to counterattack. GG gets called. We're down 50 supply. Serral takes a 2-0 lead. Whew. Let's go. GG, well played. I'm telling you, Papi, Serral, he got some Reynor coaching. Like, both in game 1 and game 2, Serral has been so much more active. Or is there with throw buys, with counterattacks? There was some good moments for Clem, true. There were some very good moments, especially when it came to sniping the hatchery towards the south. But again, still was overwhelmed. And with that, we're getting into our next game. And I'm hoping it's not a 3-0. Like, whether it was a 3-0 one way or the other, that's not what we won here. We won it back and forth, won a game 4, game 5, won an ace match, but the pressure is on. The pressure is on Clem. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can recover and make a series out of this. I want to believe he can. I want to believe he can. Clem playing too much toss. True. Kappa. That's why Clem is... what, undefeated in this tournament so far, made it to the upper bracket finals. True. Copium. Really what you're saying is not enough Protoss. Clem, he should just make the full switch. He should just make the full switch to Protoss. True. Kappa. As we are getting ready for potentially our final game. We're still waiting for the map of choice. Hold on, do we have the vetoes? Game 3. Okay. Interesting. Game 3 is going to be Amygdala. Amygdala is game 3, Abyssal is game 4, and El Dorado is game 5. Dorito, if you will. So, Amygdala is going to be an interesting one. So far, the maps that we've been casting on, Leylands and Frostline, they both favor aggression. Leylands is a smaller map, likewise, the bases are a little bit more vulnerable compared to, you know, an Ultrala, for example, or Abyssal Reef. Same with Frostline. Frostline is known for, you know, favoring people that are being more aggressive here, and we saw more back and forth, more fights occurring as a result, more engagements. Here on Amygdala, it's known for longer macro games. It's known for slowing the game down. If we were casting Maru, for example, like Maru, he's so willing to turtle. He's so willing to turtle in this matchup to get a 4th, get a 5th base, throw down some planetaries, throw down some tanks, some Widow Mines, some Liberators, and just slow the game down. That's how Maru takes his approach. Like, he's more than happy to embrace Amygdala. I don't know if that's the case with Clem. Clem does that sometimes when he's forced into it, true. There are times where he's forced into that kind of style. That's not really his go-to, though. Like, he's not really one to be that defensive and be that turtle heavy. He wants to be the aggressor, but I want to say that it's more difficult to be aggressive here in Amygdala. We'll see. We'll see how Clem will take the approach here. But it looks like they're asking for a break, which is understandable, right? Like, you know, we're in the upper bracket finals. We're getting into game 3. Clem needs a moment here to kind of clear his head. It makes sense. No shame there. Like, they are competitors, and you know, this is kind of the big event to end January. So players, they need a moment to kind of settle their thoughts and to bounce back. It's not easy pulling off a reverse sweep. Not impossible. I want to believe that if Clem's going to, if anyone can do it, Clem can. But does need a moment here to take a breath. Zen, papi, zen. No shame. Except on Clem for playing toss. Oh no. The Terrans are getting angry. As much as I'm not into Zerg, there's nothing better than seeing Marine Marauder Medevac getting destroyed. I mean, personally, I just really appreciate seeing Marine Marauder Medevac against Ling Bane. I know that a lot of people probably share this sentiment, especially over the past maybe year, maybe 2 years. Like, the Roach opener and the Roach meta was so prevalent. In ZBT, you know, Serral, for example, would open up Roach every single game. And it did kind of take away some of what we all, take away... Oh, no. Clem. No. I was gonna say, it took away some of the excitement of ZBT, right? We all love, like, Bio versus Ling Bane. That's what we're here for. Clem, stay with us. So Clem, he just sent us a message. I was talking about how Clem was taking a moment to take a breath and to calm things down. Apparently Clem stepped away because he thought he just lost 3-0. Oh no. Clem, it's okay. You can do this. Come back to us, baby. Come back. We have it, but he thought he just got 3-0'd. Oh no. Okay. Okay, we're good to go. We're good to go. Oh no. He's like, I thought the series was over. Okay, we're back. We're back. We got him. We got him. Whew. Okay. Getting into game 3. He has bailing PTSD. Relatable, relatable. We've all been there. We've all been there. And here we go. We're going to calm things down and get into game number 3. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the French Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Team Liquid. He's up against the wall, but he does have a chance here to bring it back and to fight back and to force a game forward, to even force the ace match. It is Clem. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Finnish Zerg player, the blue Zerg representing Basilisk. It is Serral. One more game is all that Serral needs here to take the series and advance on to the grand finals. We'll see if he can. As we calm things down and welcome everyone, welcome one and all to Amygdala. As I was saying previously, Amygdala is one of the larger maps in the map pool. Likewise, there really aren't many attack paths. This is one of the big reasons why we see a lot of late game or longer games on Amygdala. If you recall in the previous series, this is also why Reynor was as greedy as he was. If you remember, Reynor versus MaxPax on this map, Reynor, he went up to 5 bases, droned up to 86, teched up into Hive and into Lurkers, and then died because MaxPax pushed in. But like the reason why Reynor felt so safe doing so, a part of it is because of the map as well, right? The map, it's large, the map has long rush distances, like it's known for macro, and you know, Reynor just assumed that we were heading into the late game before being shot down. Likewise here in this matchup also is applicable. You could argue that drops do allow the Terran player to be a little bit more mobile when it comes to being aggressive, but like despite that, the attack paths are still very limited here. We have one attack path towards the north and one towards the south, and they're both also covered by Xel'Naga towers. That's the other thing here as well, is that you can just have Xel'Naga towers, or you can have some overlords in position to scout any move outs, to see any kind of pushes, and you have plenty of time to react and to respond as well. The map does open up once you knock down the rocks, true. Once the rocks get knocked down, then sure, you can maneuver, you can rotate, you can be more aggressive, you can bounce back and forth, but before that, it can be difficult to really break a defending player. Can be difficult. But we'll see. We shall see. This is also where I would say and voice my concerns about Serral opening up Roach and going back to what he does, or he did best for the past couple of years. We have been avoiding Roach play so far in this series, and I hope that trend continues, but I can kind of see it working here. We'll see. At least this time, hatch gas full, so no gases opener. No gases opener out of Serral. I would say that gases openers are more viable on, I mean, I already mentioned those maps, on Abyssal Reef and Neon Violet Square. Those two maps specifically, we've seen a lot of gases play, and that's what we can see a return of that build from Serral on those maps. But not here, not on Amygdala. Not on Amygdala. As Serral, he will take the linear third base. Ooh, meanwhile, that's a second Rax. Hello. 3cc, yes, but 3cc into a 2-1-1. For the first time this series, Clem is going for a stim timing. Okay, you have my attention. Now, this is a macro build. Yes, it is, with the 3rd CC, but a very aggressive macro build. I mean, there's a bit of a give and take here, but I do like the logic behind this. The downside of this opener, by the way, is that your Hellion count is very low. It's going to be a very low Hellion count because we're going for an add-on swap. Yep, there we go. We're going for an add-on swap into Marine production. So typically, we'd see like 6, maybe up to 8 Hellions in ZVT. This time, only 2. Only 2 Hellions. So because of this, it means that Serral back at home, he's going to be free to drone, going to be free to spread creep early on, and he should be relatively uncontested. But the reason why I'm okay with this, we mentioned at the start of the game just how few attack paths there are, because that how easy it is to defend these locations. So Clem is not going to like try to force the issue. He's not going to try to force the Hellions to gain value when they're really not going to. Like the map is working against him. So he just gives up on Hellion aggression, rushes into a faster second Rax, into mass bio, into that stim timing. So stim is halfway done. From here we go for an add-on swap into medevac production, into the 16 Marine bio move out. And with Marines, suddenly he can hunt down Overlords, he can hunt down Tumors, hunt down Queens as well. Clem can be a lot more effective when it comes to his aggression early on. So it gives up on Hellions, makes up for that with mass Marine. And overall, I do like this decision here on Amygdala. The power of Hellions is their speed to rotate between bases, but you can't do that here. Like, you can't rotate from this base to this base. Like, it's not gonna, like, the rocks is just in the way. Like, you just can't do so. So, a commitment to Hellions is just so much weaker here on Amygdala. As here comes the Buyer, here come the Medevacs. Clemmy does move out with just under 2 full Medevacs of Marines. 1-1 is on the way, 3rd Rax behind this. I would say actually I can see an 8 Rax working here. True, that could be an option in a couple of minutes. We'll keep an eye on Clem. See how he follows this up. But now the 2-on-1 has arrived. Clearing up creep, he can threaten the Queens. Bygrass Serral has been droning. And the first queen goes down. Missed the transfuse. Serral did miss the transfuse, so nice pick off here by Clem. Oh, he wants another. Ooh, doesn't quite get it. Not this time. Takes over the Zolnaga. Likewise, we have Lings hidden here towards the south. They can morph into Banelings. We could see an attempted Baneling run by here towards the 3rd, if Clem isn't too careful. Speaking of Lings, they're being selected. As Serral once again going into Ling Bane. Baneling speed is almost done. 1-1 on the way. And that's 3 more Raxes here from Clem. He is getting up to 8 Raxes. Yeah, he is building up. This looks like an 8 Rax. Yeah, he's going for 3 base all in. 3 base all in. What is this? No gases. There's no gases at the 3rd base, which means no forced CC, no second factory, no further tech. Clem is going to be 8 Raxing. Now going for a split push. Serral, he gets up to 72 workers, just under full base saturation. Clem moving in. Catch some of those Lings. Pushes towards the expansion. Serral coming in for the surround. Takes out the tank. Forces the lift as well. Yeah, with that Serral he holds. Meanwhile, towards the south, the Queens are exposed. Where's the Ling Bane? And not enough in position. Clem, he's pushing through, breaks through the Queens. That's what, 3 Queens, 4 Queens going down to 2, down to 1 Queen left. Yeah, very efficient trades here by Clem, dropping into the main at the same time. Oh my god, Banelings, no, they run by it. The Banelings get in. And again, while Serral was defending, he pops off. 18 SCVs go down. At the same time, the drop in the main base is going uncontested. It's getting out of hand, it's getting out of control. 11 drone kills, 12 drone kills, he's not done. Going for the spawning pool. Serral's in trouble. Spawning pool, it's gonna go down. Massive pickup. No more League production. No more Queen production either. No nothing, just drones. As there's no Hydrogen, meanwhile more drones going down. And it looks like Clemmy's done it. He has done it. He has broken through. And remember, Clemmy's going for 3 base all in. He's all in behind this anyway. He has a massive army, and Serral cannot make anything. He can only drone. Oh, the Serral! Oh my god. Does collapse in. Doesn't get the surround he was hoping for. Decent engage, but not good enough. As Clem, he should be able to just keep pushing. The spawning pool is still not done. It's still not ready. Oh my god. Serral maybe the best engagements he can hope for. Had some decent engagements here. There we go. 38 Lings on the way. He has to just buy more time. Needs to buy more time here, and it takes a while for the reinforcements to get across the map. Again, the map is just so big. But Clem, he's so close to breaking Serral. He's almost there. Just needs a little bit more here. Jumping once again. Pushing on the right-hand side. Is spotted by the Zolnaga. Oh, the right shot. Boom, massive connection on the Bane. Ay. And brutal connections. So he gets some decent fights, some decent engagements, but not good enough. GG gets caught, he is broken, and Clem, he overwhelms, and he takes game number 3. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Clem just snowballing out of control. A lot of it came down to him catching the queens. When he caught those queens, remember he killed, I want to say 6 queens. He killed 6 queens. Because of that, there's no anti-air. There's no way to defend the main base either. It allowed for that double drop. Sorry, I said double drop. It was a triple drop going into the main. It allowed for that drop to get out of hand and get even more damage to cripple the economy, to kill the spawning pool. Once the spawning pool went down, that was game. That was game then and there, because Clem was going for the 3 base all in, because he was 8-raxing Serral he needed to produce, and Clem was never going to slow down. GG. We have a series. Whew. We do have a series here. Clem, he will fight back, and we're getting into game 4. Getting into game 4. And now we're going to be experiencing some of these other maps here, some of these more macro maps. We're going to be loading into Abyssal Reef. Interesting. Now, if Serral were to go for a gaseous opener, this would be it. This would be the map to do it on, and I can see that being rationalized here. It's been something that we've been avoiding so far the entire series, but we've seen it much more frequently by other Zerg players, by Shin, by Dark, by Rogue, by even Reynor. They've been very fond of going gases here on Abyssal. I expect Serral to do it as well. We'll see if that's the case. We'll see if he does open gases. Let's go. Whew. Let us go. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Abyssal Reef, we have the French Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Team Liquid. Whew. Fighting back, putting a point on the board. We'll see if he can force the ace match. It is Clem. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player representing Basilisk from land of Finland, leading the series 2-1. 1 game away from advancing on to the grand finals. It is Serral. We go. I just saw in the chat when you said, "Oh no, I thought Clem was switching to toss game 3." Calm down, Kalasi. Calm down. Oh my god, you're so doomer. You're like, I've lost my Terran. He's lost to us now. It's over. Aye. No. It's all good. It's all good. He's not that crazy. He's not that crazy. Oh. For now, standard opener. And welcome one and all to Abyssal Reef. Now, the reason why... Oh. Standard opener. Okay, I was going to say, the reason why we often see gasless openers here on Abyssal Reef is because of how defendable the natural base is. What I mean by that, there's a ramp, not just a ramp with a very narrow choke point coming in towards the natural base. Because of that, you can just place one queen. Place one queen here and Hellions cannot actually break through. You can knock the queen out of position with the Reaper, sure, but in general, it is very difficult to be aggressive with Hellion Reaper early on, and you can defend with purely queen. You can defend with purely queen here on Abyssal Reef. Despite that, hatch gas pool. Standard opener out of Serral, so he is not going gasless. He's playing standard instead, which means we should be seeing once again Lingbane play out of Serral, which I'm excited for. Let's go. Which I'm going to be excited for. Meanwhile, Clemmy scouts, he confirms, making sure that everything's on the up and up. Is in position here at the 3rd base. As he does pull away. Reaper dipping in. Now, what I will say, Abyssal Reef is a larger map than Amygdala, so I don't see Clem going for an 8-rax. Last game, Clem, he went for a 3-base all-in. I don't expect that working here on Abyssal. I feel like the map works against you even more. Abyssal is even more defendable than Amygdala, so I would imagine that Clem's going to take a different approach. Likewise, similar to Amygdala though, it's difficult for Hellions to rotate between the bases and to get damage done, so I wouldn't be opposed to another 3CC 2-1-1. I could see that working wonders here as well. For now, 3rd CC before Starport. We'll see if he goes for a 2nd Rax or for a Starport. What's it going to be? Here comes the add-on soul for Hellion production. Reaper is here and does delay the expansion by a couple of seconds. Not bad. Does delay the hatchery. Oh, Serral, he throws down a hidden Roach Warren, and it is a 2-1-1. Okay, there's a lot to get into. A lot of time. Oh no! Reaper, he's gonna be denied. Okay, a lot of things going on. First things first, standard opener, right? The initial opener was standard from Serral. Clem, he is going 3cc 2-1-1. This is the same build he went for last game, which again, I can see this working wonders. It can work really well. The downside, no Banshee. There's no Banshee, and likewise, no additional Hellions to scout as well. So there is that give and take here, and I'm concerned because it looks like Serral may decide to go for an all-in. Yep, here we go. Roaches are amassing, and it's going to be on Clem to figure out what's going on. So far, 6 roaches on the way. And again, because of this build, there won't be any Banshees. There's just going to be a couple of Hellions into Marine production, which is not going to be ideal to defend against roaches. So good read out of Serral. I think Serral, he's assuming that it's going to be a 2-1-1 again. So it is a good read. So far, the Reaper is denied. The Hellion Reaper is here on the left-hand side, which means they missed the roaches. He doesn't see. He doesn't know. Clem, he's blind. He's in the dark. He's in the dark, Papi. You know what's happening right now? The belt is off. The pants are down. Oh, no. Now, thankfully, Serral, he's not link flooding. He could. If he wanted to, he could link flood behind this to reinforce these roaches to commit to an all-in. Serral, he's droning instead of link flooding. So he's droning up instead. Roaches, they are waddling in. And what is it to defend? These are vanilla Marines so far. Stim is done in a couple of seconds. SCVs are going to be going down as roaches have controlled the low ground. And SCVs are falling. Army does engage. Boys are being pulled. How many workers are we going to bring down? So far, the Hellions fall. And Clem, he will clean this up. He will clean this up. And only losing 4 SCVs. Whew, okay. That could have been a lot worse. Only 4 workers. Looking at the trades, actually, I would say a better trade for Clem, especially gas-wise. He spent no gas to defend. This should have done more damage. And again, if there was a link flood behind this, I could see this army being overwhelmed. But remember, there was no link flood. It wasn't an all-in. It was a roach push, but then Serral droned. So we can calm down. We can embrace a longer game. Whew, okay. We can calm things down. Stim is now done. Stim is now done. Clem, he can now start to move out. He does have 4 Hellions moving out on the left-hand side. And I would actually say that Clem is in a better position. Clem, he's down in SCVs, but he can mule. He can make 3 workers at a time. Hellions, they poke in, and ooh, Serral out of position. So he's out of position. Drone's going to be getting roasted. 3 drones so far. Clem, he does well. Does well for himself. He escapes, doesn't lose any Hellions here in the aggression. Pulls back in time. Does get away. And even Serral getting supply blocked. It does get supply blocked. Will slow him down. Yeah, Clem, after the initial openers, does come out ahead. Now can start being active here with these drops. Now getting to 1-1. 3rd racks on the way. 4th racks as well. Into 5 racks eventually. Again, I don't see Clem going for a 3-way all in here. I expect him to take gases and get a 2nd factory and get a 4th CC. But this thing run by actually delays the push. Delays the medevacs. Clem. 3 SCVs going down. Clem, he turns back around. Now starts moving out. And this is more of kind of like the Serral that we were accustomed to at EWC. It is more of a Roach Ravager heavy composition. So he's getting into Roaches, into +1 range, into Hydra production. This is a very immobile army. Very defensive army from Serral. And we'll see if he can kind of... if that comes into play here. If he can justify that. There we go. That's what I was looking for. As most likely Serral is going to be stuck at home. He's going to be stuck at home for the near future. This also means that Clem, upon seeing all these roaches, he can be greedy. He can rush into a faster 4th CC, rush into faster tech. Oh! Has to respect the roaches though. As it does pull back. And typically this style from Serral goes into Hive Tech, into Lurker Tech as well. To benefit from the range upgrades. If we get into +2 range. True. If he goes into melee upgrades, then instead of going into lurkers, he can go into like ultras, for example. But because of the Hydra Tech, I think we all assume that this is going to lead into lurkers. Into like Nidus Lurker. But we'll keep an eye on those upgrades. As Marines, they pick up a couple of roaches. Again, they're keeping Serral busy. 1-1's finishing up. Tanks, they get behind the mineral line. They're within range of the mineral line as well. Drones are going down. Good positioning here from Clem. Takes down the workers, takes down the gas geysers. So he's trying to engage, but pushing into this is just so brutal. And queens are going down, drones as well. And so trying to get close enough to pile, but he can't. He's losing too much. At the same time, we go for a roach counterattack. Good use of these roaches. Catching reinforcements. 9 SCVs. Very nice counterattack. Speaking of, more roaches move out towards the third base. Yeah, if Serral can't defend, he attacks. Oh, as more queens are going down. Lings are getting to the mineral line. Diva's going to be falling. Not much of him to defend. Serral taking this slow. Does get a medevac. But Serral's being cleaned up. It's being cleaned up back at home. And the base is going to fall. Yeah, the hatchery does crumble. And even though Clem did lose some SCVs, he still has a better economy. He has 66 workers plus mules, 4th base now on the way. Serral's just now getting saturated. Hive is done. It's going to be +1. Ooh, I was going to say +2 range. Not yet. But Serral, he's hurting. Is hurting. Clemmy rotates. Nice yoinks. Catches 2 tanks. Oh, yeah, getting for tanks. Medevac as well. Whew. Almost a clutch save here by Clem. Then moving in. Remember, there are no lurkers. Just Ling Hydra Ravager. There are some blinding clouds. You're getting the tank. Oh, decent trades here by Serral. The blinding clouds they help, but it might still not be enough. Yeah, Clemmy's done it. He's breaking through. Again, the damage dealt here at this base was just far too much. And despite the defensive opener of Serral, he just could not deal with those tanks. Could not deal with them. Clemmy does start to step in. Catches out the Vipers, and GG gets called. Clemmy ties up the series 2-2. We are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. GG, well played. And again, I feel like this is another example as to why I feel like Serral has stopped playing Roach in most of these games. Obviously that changed here, but you can see like it's meant to be a safe opener. Like opening up Roach is meant to be a little bit more lava. It's not as lava efficient, of course, or it is more lava efficient but not as cost efficient supply wise. Roaches are less mobile, but they're a little bit more tanky. They give you some biles, of course, but especially that positioning behind the mineral line was brutal, and we saw that the Roach Ravager could do nothing to deal with those tanks, could not get close enough. And with that, Serral, he was punished for it. The base went down. Even though we saw a counterattack, which I would say is a good thing, like it was a really nice counterattack out of Serral, it was doing some damage across the map, but not enough. Not enough damage in the end. With that, Clem overwhelmed. Clem, he was able to break Serral before Lurker attack. Remember, Serral, he rushed into Hive. He was working towards 2-2, but the attack occurred just before he could start to tech up and actually make use of that Hive. Got a couple of Vipers, but not good enough. With that, GG. GG, well played. We're getting into the ace match here. We're getting into game 5, and we'll see how our players do open up this time here. We're going to be loading into El Dorado, and I don't know what to expect in El Dorado. El Dorado is just a really unique map. It can play out a lot of different ways. Short rush distance by air does allow for Spire and Muta play. True, does allow for that in some cases. We've seen a lot of players go Swarmhurst Nidus on this map just because of the terrain. Depending on how the terrain expands, if they leave one side vulnerable, then Nidus Swarmhurst can actually do really well. Likewise, we've seen a lot of Terran players go into the gold bases and just A-Racks. Just take the gold, A-Racks. Just end the game. Like, we've seen that as well. So, yeah, curious. I'm curious as to how our players expand and what builds they go for. Let's go. As we're settling into El Dorado. Getting into the ace. We've made it. We made it all the way to the ace match. One way or another, the series will end here and now in game 5. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of El Dorado, we have the French Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Team Liquid, fighting back from the brink. Remember, he left us. He thought he got 3-0'd. he turned off his cam and he walked out the door, mate. He thought it was over. But no, it is anything but. He's clawed his way back into the ace match. It is a Clem, the world champion. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Finnish Zerg player, the blue Zerg representing Basilisk. He's been so close to claiming this series, but he has been unable to the entire time. He's been so close to it so far. It is Serral. Here we go. As we find ourselves on El Dorado. Now, this is another one of those maps where we can open up gasless. We have seen a lot of players embrace that. The reasoning for this, similarly to Abyssal Reef, there is a ramp coming into the natural, so you can wall this area off. You can mine through these gold minerals and take the triangular third base. And if the opponent, if the Terran player doesn't mine through those minerals as well, then it can be really awkward and really difficult to actually harass this three-base setup with Hellions. So we've seen a lot of gasless play here, but we have seen so far this series, Serral, he has never opened up gas. He has not opened up gasless until now. Hello. Well then, I mean, I was only bringing it up to have something to talk about. I wasn't actually thinking that Serral would actually play gasless because he didn't do it on Abyssal, but he's doing it here. Okay, so good thing we brought it up. Just to reiterate what we mentioned, again, because of the ramp coming into the natural, and because of how awkward it can be for the Terran player to actually be aggressive here if they don't mine early on, then there's a reason why you can get away with defending without any gases, without link speed, with purely queens and links. Which is why I thought we would see this on Abyssal Reef. We didn't. We didn't see this on Abyssal, but we're seeing it here on El Dorado. Now, he confirms. There we go. Big scout from Clem. Clem, he checks. He sees the mining minerals, which means he can now start working towards his own as well. He can start accessing this southern half of the map to be more aggressive with those Hellions. Ooh, as Serral, he takes the linear... Never mind. Serral, he takes the linear base instead. But still gasless. So I'm a little bit concerned, not gonna lie. I'm curious if Clem is gonna open up 1-1-1. If you watch EWC, you would know that Clem, he was very fond. Whenever Serral would open up gases like this, Clem, he would just go 1-1-1. He would get into like 12 Hellions and he would just commit. But never mind, third CC before Starport. Economic opener. Okay. Economic opener out of Clem. And does he once again go 3CC 2-1-1 or does he go 3CC 1-1-1? There's the initial add-on swap. SCV is getting ready. Ooh, and there it is, 2-1-1 once again. So like, the logic is there once again, where it's difficult to get damage done with these Hellions, just because of the defensive setup. Once again, if Roach Warren gets placed for Serral, this is looking very similar to the Abyssal Reef game. Similar. I say similar just because, if you remember, Serral, he threw down his Roach Warren. It was hidden, and he went for a Roach Rush. This time, the Roach Warren is a part of the wall. It's already been scouted. Serral, I would imagine, is not going to commit into Roach aggression, but it's going to be on Serral to minimize losses here and to keep up with the movement of the initial Reaper, the initial Hellion. But we'll see if he can keep up with the drop play, with the Marine counterattack here from Clem. I'm feeling really uneasy for Serral here. I'm feeling really uneasy because it does mean that he's going to be delaying Ling Bane. But we'll see if he's able to secure his bases a lot easier here on this map instead. As Hellions at night, Roaches are revealed. The initial Roaches have arrived. And behind this, Serral should just be droning. Should just be droning, getting the lair, and eventually getting a fourth base. I would imagine that Serral's going to expand here towards the top side and take the northern fourth and expand away from Clem. And this should keep the fourth base relatively safe. Again, you saw how just exposed and how brutal it was for Serral to try to keep and maintain that center fourth on Abyssal because of the tank positioning. That should not be the case here. Whether Serral gets the southern base or the northern one, should be far safer. Should be. As drone is on the way. Clem, he misses the drone. And now he's soon going to be online with Stim with the 2 medevacs. Now we have seen, because El Dorado is so small, we have seen Araxes be quite successful on this map. It's a little bit early to really think too much about that, but it is going to be a viable option here for Clem. If you recall, he went for this on Amygdala. Did go for an 8-rax. And Clem, he's going for the center goal base, which would be ideal for something like an ARAX because the gases here are limited. Gases. Getting up to 5 racks so far. We'll see if he throws down 3 more. Dives into the main. Going for the queen. Does get it. Queen goes down. Gets a queen. Gets a roach. And Serral out of position. Losing a second queen as well. Very nice pickles here by Clem. Already just out trading Serral. Getting to the mineral line. Catching a couple of workers. Hellions. Oh no! Drones they line up. Do line up for a moment here. 4 more drones going down. Whew. Serral defends. But Clem has been successful. He's been very successful here with this aggression. Behind this infestation bit, I wouldn't be opposed to safety infestors for Clem. Sorry, for Serral. Wouldn't be opposed to it, but we'll see if he gets there. We'll see how he makes use of that infestation bit. Link speed is on the way. Baliness as well is going into Link Bane Red Ravager this time. Can he get there? As Clem is getting the gas. Okay. The gas geyser here is the first sign that this is not going to be a 3-way all-in, that Clem intends to potentially expand. There, second factory is on the way into a 4th CC. Speaking of 4th CC, yep, there it is on location. So Clem, he's not going for an all-in, he's macroing. Is macroing up. He has the benefit of the gold. That'll help him, of course, that will assist him in getting into a longer game state. He does move out. Serral has yet to mine through those minerals. He does scout. Serral, he confirms the gold base. And here comes Clem. This time, Serral, he's in position. He has roaches. No Ravagers, though. Roaches, they trade. They start step forward. Nicely done. So far, Serral keeps up. Keep up. Clem is just dropping, just repositioning, clearing up tumors, boosting into the main. Serral, he's on this so far. He keeps up. And again, as a reminder, Clem, he has no intention of really breaking Serral. He's just clearing creep. Just clearing creep. Finding some nice pickups here and there while he gets his 4th. And this should lead into a Ghost Academy, into a greater tank army, to 2-2. But now just focusing on Biotank. Here comes the first move out for Clem. So let's rotate, head towards the 5th base. Double jump into the main. So does find the army on siege. First tank goes down. Ooh, nice pickup. Tank does full. Link Bane is in position. So he can respond, and he will. So he's keeping up. So far, so good. He's keeping up. Tanks are pushing forward. Creep is being denied. Serral's going to collapse, and here come the Vipers. Very nice flank. Blinding Clouds, they pop off. They shut down the tanks. Mine shots are brutal, though. Despite the Serral, he breaks through. He shuts down the army. Right, where's Clem looking for a way in? Oh, losing Bane. Nice target firing. Does focus on the Banelings. Oh, Serral having a little bit of a hard time engaging. Another Baneling goes down. Clem moving in. Does move in. Wouldn't mind, going to be cleaned up. One one shot goes up. But despite that, Serral, he will overwhelm. Does overwhelm the army. Despite that, Joel comes in, going for the 4th base. And it's going to get a snipe. Yeah, the base goes down. Massive pickup. Again, give Clem a couple of seconds and he will snipe an expansion. Again, just having a hard time maneuvering here to keep up with those drops. Clem keeps going. Both armies are maxed out. Bearing in mind that Serral, he has an inefficient army. A lot of supply here tied up in Red Ravager. Every time that will hurt him. Serral, as Clem is pushing in. Does try to commit. Drop once again towards the north this time. Serral, he's ready for this. Does react. Does react in time. On the Biles! Ooh, no reaction. Massive connections. Biles, they shut down the army. Serral, he forces Clem back, and Serral, he can breathe. Can now breathe easy. Going for his own counterattack. Remaxing with a more efficient army of more Ling Bane. 3/3s on the way. Going into Ultras. Not into Hydras. So Ling Bane Roach Ravager into Ultra. The army dives in. Decent power bomb. Nice spread here from Clem. Shuts down the Banelings. Well, so he's in a bit of trouble. Yeah, Serral is in trouble. He has to back up. Viper goes down. Massive pickup. Not enough Ling Bane for Serral. Trying to engage. Ooh. But mine doesn't quite connect. I'm still trying to push in, but here we go. Ultra's now on the way. They take a long time to produce, though. Despite that, Ling Bane reinforcements have arrived. Ooh. Mine just going up. A lot of his medics to escape, thankfully. They get away. Serral moving in. He has momentum, pushing in towards the bases. Mineral line has to evacuate. Banelings, they connect in. Massive connections. 8 SUVs going down. But Clem holds. Clem, he holds. He reinforces just in time with those ghosts. Serral trying to maintain himself. Moving in. Show some of those power bombs. There they are. Power bombs here on the Medivacs. Nice split. Just in time. Does split away. And once again, Clem, he should hold on. Forces back the army. Windmine's being cleaned up. And now the Ultras have arrived. Just in time for the Ghosts, though. The Ghosts are ready for the Ultras. Liberators as well. How many Ghosts are there? Just one. Never mind. Just one. Uh-oh. Just one Ghost. There's no creep. There's no creep. The Viper count was reset, so no power bombs here for those Medivacs. Infestors on the way. So very tense. As Clem does the 9 mining. Getting caught out there. The Ghost, no! The Ghost, he gets up behind. The one Ghost. Liberators finally dealt with. Well, the Vipers actually did survive. Oh, the power bombs. The splits. Great reaction. Again, these Vipers are so important just because they're the only anti-air for Serral. It's all he really has to deal with the Medivacs. To shut Clem down. Clem's being forced back. Likewise, Liberator popping off, getting 3 more drone kills. Spire early just begins. This is a late Spire for Serral. Without the Spire, I'm not too sure that this Liberator can be actually attacked. I guess can be abducted, true. Ultras, they dive in. Mine shots here on the Banelings. And the Ultras, they overextend. They cannot break through. No detection either. Water mines are going to reset. Oh. As it looks like the Liberator was cleaned up. I guess was within range of the Spore. Yeah, it's got 1 kill. Does have the 1 kill. So he's holding. He's holding on. Diving in the army. The mine shots! Ooh. The water mines are brutal. The minefield. As the aggression continues. Let me hit stop left. So he does respond in time. The armies are forced back. So far, Serral still maxing out, still with less than ideal upgrades. He has +3 on the way. +3 rating has begun. Yo, the Infestors have arrived. He can fungal. Let's go. He's setting up the trap. Unfortunately, the fights are happening nowhere near them, but you know, eventually. Let's grab him here in the libs. Double jump towards the north. Serral, he's keeping up. For the most part. He's keeping up. Oh, as the Wiles, they barely do miss. Getting 1. going back in. Serral, he's ready for this. May not be pushing forward. Widow Mines, they should be cleaned up. The White Shot, too. Yeah, the shots are brutal. Ghosts are exposed. Here comes the bungle. The flanking bungle. Massive connection. The bio goes down. And Clem plummets in supply. Does plummet. Clem being forced back. Serral, unfortunately, doesn't really have much momentum. Can't really punish too hard. Yeah, as the ultras are too low. They're too low. He has to back off. Joe comes back in. More drones going down. Serral getting punished here for moving out. As you'll lose the base. Yeah, the base, it's gonna fall. So he attempts a run by, at the same time pushing in towards the gold. The gold, it's already mined through. Does find some damage. Does push in. 14 SCVs going down. Top left, it did fall. But Serral is going for the gold. He's going for the southern gold base. Getting up and running. Catching out some of the production. Again, fights happening all over the place. There's still that shocking infestor. Oh, he wants it. Ooh, the splits though. Last second split. Still gets a ghost. Still does catch one ghost and a handful of marauders. Still a better trade for Serral. The Veilings are so close. Ooh, takes out another ghost. Yeah, another ghost goes down. Still came with the reinforcements. Still came with the production. Lings, they run into a planetary. Likewise, the other planetary does hold as well. Oh, we have the token swarm host. Let's go. He's coming in. And Clem is holding. He's barely holding on. Drop across the map, taking down more workers. And Serral, he has to back off. He did overextend. And now suddenly Serral's in a rough position. Suddenly Serral, he's down bases, down workers. He needs that gold base to get saturated. Without it, he's just going to be outscaled. So just bleeding out a little bit too much. And now Clem is maxed. Clem is maxed out. There's still potential. Oh, the bungle does land. Catches some of those ghosts. Nice power bomb as well. Yeah, very nice fight here for Serral. Trying to push through, but once again, doesn't really have enough support for these ultras. Ultras on their own, they can't really do much. We need Lings, we need Veilings, we need Spellcasters. Another base falls. This gold base. No, he doesn't get it up and running. That may just be it. That may just be game. There's no mining, there's no economy for Serral. He needed this gold base. Likewise, bleeding out ultras. Top right, planetary can hold its own. Liberator as well. Gets one of the ultras. Mass repair. The planetary is not going to go down. And Clem, he has done it. He was on the brink. He left. Like, he thought it was over. Like, Clem, he thought he got 3-0. GG gets called, and Clem, he will take the series 3-2 with the reverse sweep. Will advance on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Clem, he will claim the series. He will advance on into those finals. And Serral, he's going to be knocked down to the lower bracket. GG, well played. Serral, he was I think it said Clem because Serral gets knocked down to the lower bracket. Serral, again, he had an amazing initial start to the series with Game 1 and Game 2. Coming into Abyssal Reef, I'm not too fond of his idea going into Roaches there. We saw it wasn't quite worth it, and he was torn apart for it as well. Likewise, here on I almost said Abyssal Reef again. On El Dorado, I do think it was more successful, but there was some key moments, of course, where he overextended, where he pushed out a little bit too far. There was some very nice fungal growths that were popping off, but still had a hard time keeping up with the multi-pronged aggression of his opponent. Again, this is the big downside of roach-based play, is your army is less mobile, so the drop play of Serral was more effective. Sorry, the drop play of Clem. I think I keep like interchanging the names. The drop play of Clem was more effective. It was much more effective, able to hit the north, the south, left, and right. Lack of anti-air was being abused here. It's the benefit of going Lingbane Hydra or Lingbane into Spire, but of course it's the downside of going Roaches into Ultras is only anti-air is Queens and Vipers, so very limited anti-air. And Clem, he's just so good at punishing that style. Which is why I feel like Serral did rely on this less this series, but still went for it towards the end of the series, and in the end Clem was having a much easier time being able to be just hyper aggressive and hyper active with all those drops, with all the metavacs. This is also why Reynor has often played Muta. Like, Muta is a good way to stop the drop play, right? To gain map control, to gain just control the map and control the skies to make sure the drop play gets shut down completely. That's what at least Reynor's been really good at. And again, here, Serral, he was able to keep up as well, at least early on in the series, but less later on. A lot of it came down to, I feel like, the builds, the army composition. Despite that, Game 5, very close. Very close Game 5. Very back and forth. It was a banger. GG. GG, well played. Do apologize for my observing for Game 5. I did notice as well that I had a harder time kind of picking and choosing what to show because there were like 3 things happening at once, and I wanted to make sure that like there was emphasis on like some of the drop play as well. So I noticed that, but regardless, GG. GG. Congratulations to Clem, as he does claim the series, and with that, exclamation mark B in the chat to catch up with the brackets here, to catch up on what has been going on and on what is coming up next tomorrow here. We have our top 3. We have our top 3 players. Clem is in the upper bracket finals. As you can see here, Clem, he did advance on to the upper bracket finals, and Clem is waiting for the winner of the lower bracket finals. Oh, sorry. Clem, he advanced on to the grand finals. My apologies. And waiting for the winner of the lower bracket finals, it is going to be Serral and MaxPax. Serral and MaxPax are facing off here in a best of 5 tomorrow. Remember, these are tomorrow's matches. Tomorrow is going to be Serral versus MaxPax into Clem in the grand finals. That is going to be what comes next. Let's go. And this is going to be a rematch. Again, MaxPax, he went down to Serral here earlier in the week, but MaxPax also defeated Serral in Master Coliseum. So Serral and MaxPax have been very back and forth. Very back and forth. MaxPax has defeated Serral, has defeated him, has lost him as well. So they've been very back and forth, very close in their matches. So I do look forward to it. Do look forward to it here. Let's go. So they're all going to be facing off against each other. Otherwise, we are going to be wrapping up for the time being. Our next broadcast is going to be in an hour. Let me just double check. Oh boy, here we go. Sorry, in just under 2 hours. In just under 2 hours, we're going to be live once again with Fire Cup. As you can see, our weekly schedule here, we have Fire Cup at 1 a.m. KST, and of course, LiuLi Cup at 9 p.m. KST. So that is in just under 2 hours. Just under 2 hours is going to be Fire Cup. We just wrapped up with Group A yesterday, and today we are going to be engaging and embracing Group B. Group B is today. If you're curious, what is Fire Cup? Fire Cup is a monthly tournament for the CIS region, where players, they do engage, they do embrace themselves. We find out the best player in the region. This month, we do have a special guest for the first time, Skilless. Nikita is taking place. He is taking part. We did feature him in Group A. He's already made it through into the playoffs. We're here to find out who will join him in those playoffs as well. We're going to be featuring players like Wayne, like Shameless, and Nickeract, and Nikic as well, and many others. Strange is going to be there. So some amazing players going to be facing off in the Fire Cup. Be there in 2 hours. Going to be there covering it in 2 hours time. I do apologize as well. I do apologize because we missed out on KSL. We did miss the KSL cast, so I do apologize for that. I made the mistake yesterday of drinking caffeine during Fire Cup, which meant that I couldn't sleep afterwards. I need to sleep. I need to sleep after the cast, and I couldn't because I was like, jacked up on coffee because, I was trying to make sure I was awake for the cast itself. It means that I was too fatigued. It took me too long to sleep, so I could not cover KSL live. We will be covering KSL via replays. So Korean StarCraft League, in a couple of days, we're going to be covering here on the channel via replays instead. So we got you covered for the KSL. Unfortunately, not live, so I do apologize for that. It's just a really busy weekend, and it's hard with specifically these timed events as well. Like, it's just really awkward to shift from like one kind of sleep schedule to the other for the weekend. So I do apologize for that. Wasn't quite able to pull it off, but at least I was able to sleep. At least we were able to sleep some decent hours today, like 5 hours sleep. Let's go. Let us go. Coffee break, exactly. Just catching up with the chat. Beautiful game 5 from both players. It was really good. Really good. Thank you so much, Tater Tutor, for the gifted sub to Colossi in the chat. God, thank you so much for the gifted sub, and I'm sure Colossi will enjoy it himself, so thank you so much. Do appreciate the support. From I thought it was 3-0 to winning. What a kid. True. Este Clem. I'm convinced we need light, force light to sleep sometimes. Rest and sleep. True. I'll sleep in February. I'll say I'll sleep in February. I'll be fine, Poppy. I'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's just a busy January. Busy January. Again, 2 casts a day every day. 2 casts a day every single day. Sometimes 3 casts a day like we had on Thursday and like we were supposed to have on Saturday. So again, I do apologize for that. But yes, we're going to be back in 2 hours time. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. Quickly catching up, I do want to give a shout out to our new patron. We did get a new patron during the broadcast. So thank you so much, Max. Thank you so much. Max, for the patron, we do for the support on Patreon. We do appreciate it. For those that are curious, our Patreon is designed to fund our tournaments. Bam! You can see here we do host these tournaments on a regular basis. See Duckling Open, Sparkling Tuna Cup, and Masters Swan Open as well. All 3 events are regular here. As you can see in the schedule, they're not there, but that is because January has been so busy and we've been covering Masters Coliseum and LiuLi Cup and the Invitationals and Fire Cup. It's just been a busy month. It's been a very busy month, so I do apologize, but our events are coming back in February. They're coming back next week. So don't worry. Don't worry, they're all coming back. And again, they're all funded through Patreon, so thank you so much. All the money that we make on Patreon goes towards our tournaments. And our next goal on Patreon is to boost the prize pool and to expand the players getting paid out. Currently, only top 2 get paid out for our tournaments, but if we reach our next stretch goal, we can pay out top 4. We can get to that top 4, so I'd love to give more to the players themselves to, of course, pay them for their time for competing in our tournaments. That would be the ideal. Thank you for all those who support us, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Again, we'll see you guys in a couple of hours, or we'll see you tomorrow for the final day of the LiuLi Cup. Again, we have 2 series remaining. Serral, MaxPax, and Clem will be crowning our champion tomorrow. We will crown our champion. Hibernate. Oh no. One day I'll get a proper. I haven't slept 8 hours straight in a very long time, but one day we'll do it. We'll get there. Her Reynor plays Terran. Cap. But outside of that, right, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Maybe if there's enough gaps between the star aircrafts. Exactly. I'll sleep in February, says, as replays are already lining up for 2 casts a day. That's only for the end of January. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. I think, actually, unironically, what I'm looking forward to in February is laddering again. Like, because our schedule has been so busy, I haven't been able to stream on my personal channel. For those that are curious, light_VIP on Twitch. I typically stream whenever I can, whenever I have a free day. I just haven't had a free day, so I haven't been able to ladder or stream or play anything. So I would love to eventually. Well, we'll get there. One day, February. Otherwise, see you next time. See you in a couple of hours, or we'll see you tomorrow. Stick around. We're gonna be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid who is live at the moment. Oh, we have the Balkan Circuits week number 3 currently going on. Shout out to the Bellum Gens guys. We might give them a raid. Who else is live? Who can we raid? We have Rex was casting. Rex. We have Upper Tree sleeping. His stream is live while he's in bed. We have who else? Soita. Oh, I know Soita. Soita streaming. Captain Fish is streaming. Let's go. And a couple of others. Okay, so if you want to stick around, we're going to be giving the Star Zagora guys a raid. Star Zagora, they have been hosting their own regional weekly tournaments coming into the new year. So give them some love, give them some support. Basically, another StarCraft tournament. They got you covered. Pappy. For now, though, we're going to be heading off, and we'll see you guys in a couple of hours for the next cast for Fire Cup number 6, Group B. See you then. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego.